Hello everyone and welcome to today's video where we look at this CPU. This is an Intel Tillamook. This is a Pentium MMX clocked at 300 MHz and was intended for mobile devices. This chip is not that common. Apparently these were quite rare. The chip is manufactured in the 250 nanometer process, and if you want to know a little bit more about this, you can check Peter's videos over at CPU Galaxy. He made, I think, 2 videos about this chip, but he has versions that have the gold cover, the gold lid, and I think they were mostly distributed from China. This chip came from a scrapyard in Germany. Unfortunately, it has an issue with those pins with these tiny legs that come out of the TCP package. This is the tape carrier package. We're not gonna test this CPU today because we need to figure out which platform we are trying to run this chip on. The challenge we face with this chip is that it requires very different voltages from a regular Pentium MMX. So if you know, they have introduced the split voltage planes for the Pentium MMX. The core was running at 2.8 volts while I/O remained at 3.3 volts. This was mainly done for backwards compatibility because 3.3 volts was also used for the chipset, it was used for the memory, and there were other components on the board that used 3.3 volts, and that's why the Pentium MMX also required 3.3 volts I/O. However, the core was at 2.8 volts. This chip requires a core voltage of only 2 volts. And that is actually achievable. There are SuperSocket 7 boards out there that can easily supply 2 volts to the core. The problem is the I/O. The I/O voltage on these chips is specified with 2.5 volts, and that is very different from any Socket 7 board that I have. Now I understand that many people were running these chips for testing purposes at 3.3 volts I/O, and apparently they are okay. I'm not an expert and I can't say if these chips degrade over time at this voltage, but obviously it would be nice to run it at 2.5 volts. I checked one board I have which has some jumpers, but I can only change it from 3.3 to 3.5 volts. And the board I have is the P5A-B. Unfortunately, it misses the socket. So if we would try to use this board, I first have to fix the socket. I have replacement sockets, so this shouldn't be an issue, but I think we're dealing here with 320 pins approximately. So yeah, this is definitely not an easy task. I saw this while I was inspecting the board. I am missing resistor 131. So R131 is missing on my board, and I have absolutely no idea which value it has. If you have this board and you can figure out what the resistor value goes here, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'm not sure what to do. Not even sure where this goes to. It's going into this capacitor, and which also seems to be cracked actually. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so this one here probably is a picofarad. This is probably can be replaced with something else, but I need this resistor value. If you can help me, would be great. Thank you. And now let's continue with the video. For today, we need to try and fix these tiny pins. There are definitely two that are touching each other, and they are super tiny. I have no idea if I will succeed. Well, if we can't fix it or if we ruin this chip today, then there is no need to work on the other projects. Okay, and here is our Intel chip, the code SL34N. So this chip, specifically this model, the 300 MHz version, was released in 1999. So this was already at a time when the Pentium 2 was, I think, 2 years in the market, or 1.5 years, something like this. And I don't know if you can see it, but there are traces going inside the package. So we can look through how it looks on the other side. This is the back of this chip. If you have ever seen such a TCP package, you know that at the back of this chip, you have all these traces that go around this Pentium chip. And then obviously they're coming out on this side, and here is where our drama is starting. I will not touch the ones on this side. I hope that all of these traces that come out of this carrier package are in good health. I mean, these ones look okay. They're just bent a little bit, but none of them are touching each other. Here is one. This one is almost touching. They're just a little bit bent. This one is not touching either. They are very close, but not touching. But no, also this one here is not touching. Let's add a little bit more light. No, this one here is not touching. No, it is not touching. And this is our problem child. This one definitely looks like it is touching. And the problem is this is super tiny. I don't even know if I can clean. I mean, I have to be super careful. And the only thing I could come up with right now is to use a very tiny copper wire trying to get in between two of these legs or these pins. I was thinking that maybe I use a toothpick and tape a small wire at the tip of it, almost like this. And then I have a small top part that hopefully is strong enough to move these very fine pins. So let's take this with a little bit of Kapton tape, hopefully nicely together. Okay, and here's my tool. Let's see if this works. Okay, here we are. I think I want to try to move this pin a little bit to the right. Yes. Okay, and now carefully, trying to be super careful here. Maybe I just leave it like this. I think right now we are winning. What do you think? Should we just keep it as is? You know, you try sometimes to make things better, and in the end you're just, well, making it worse. So this one is definitely not touching. Yeah, no, I think I'm not gonna touch anything else. There's some dirt here. Let's see if we can do something about this. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the one that I wanted to get rid of. This one did look scary. This looked like a bridge. Now you can't clean this chip like with a brush or something. You will definitely ruin these very fine golden pins that come out of this carrier package. Okay, I think I can live with this now. Yeah, this chip goes now back in its box. It's ready. I think now we can try to fix the ASUS board and put our socket back in place. If you have experience with this type of chip, let me know which board in my collection could be used, modified for this chip. Anyway, this is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this a little bit nerve-wracking video, and I would be happy if you like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and if you want to support, either become a member here on YouTube or head over to Patreon and pick one of the memberships. And this is all we have for today. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in the next video. Most likely fixing a socket 7 board. And then, well, maybe we have to modify it a little bit. Take care and bye-bye.